Thursday was a significant day for Jesus and the disciples. Preparations were made on Thursday for the Passover meal that they would celebrate together. And that meal, everything changed. We understand this as we read the Gospels, and we certainly understand as we think about what took place that night in the garden, the betrayal, the arrest, and the false trial, and then the next day, his crucifixion. And put yourself in the disciples' position that all of this happened so quickly. Yes, they had heard Jesus give prophecies about what would happen in Jerusalem, but it hadn't really landed yet. It hadn't connected in their mind, and they were afraid. What I want to encourage you to do today, at some point, is open up the Gospel of John and start in chapter 13 and read from John 13 all the way to John 17. This is going to give you a perspective from the disciples' point of view. These are the things that Jesus talked about in the upper room that night, and promises that he made in light of what he knew was about to transpire. And so I encourage you to do that. If you can, get together with your family, sit your kids down, and just read through that with the understanding that these were Jesus' last lessons that he was giving to his disciples before he would be crucified and resurrected. And I would also encourage you to take some time to look at Luke 22. John doesn't talk about Gethsemane. Luke, Matthew, Mark, they talk about Gethsemane. Luke 22, you can read about what took place there in the garden, the wine press, the oil press. And I appreciate what, I think it's in LaHaye's book, The Cross He Bore, that we should never leave Gethsemane with dry eyes. I do remember being there over a year ago now, and it was significant. I'll post some pictures on the blog so that you can just see some of those experiences that I had there, but just recognizing what he was facing, the cup of wrath that we incurred, we deserved, but he took it. He took it for you. He took it for me. And let John 13 through 17 just inform your understanding of what took place in the upper room that night. And then let Luke 22 inform your understanding of what took place in Gethsemane that night. I'll be praying for you as you read, as you gather your families together to read tomorrow, and as we remember what Christ has done for us. And look for some other opportunities of some things that I'm just going to challenge you and your families to do on Good Friday that night in remembering the crucifixion of Christ, his death on our behalf. And so I'll get that out to you as well. But God bless you in your endeavors, and continue to pray for our church. This is rough. It's rough for me. It's rough for all of us as we recognize that we're not gonna see each other on Easter Sunday. But despite that, God is good. God is good. There's hope in an empty tomb.